I think if a game is that good, then there's no such thing as joining the bandwagon too late, and I think Stardew Valley is one of those games. I am obsessed with cozy farm simulators. One of my first farming games was Harvest Moon Magical Melody. Harvest Moon was my introduction to the genre. I played A Wonderful Life, Tree of Tranquility, The Tale of Two Towns. You name it, I probably played it. They had me hook, line, and sinker. Low-key, one of the reasons why forget-me-nots are one of my favorite flowers is because it's a reference to Forget-me-not Valley, which is where the story takes place for Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. Anyways, enough random lore about me. It's just been a while since I've played a farm game, and Stardew Valley just looked promising. I've heard many friends comment about it, but I originally ignored it because Stardew Valley was released during a time I was obsessed with The Sims 3. I was down the Sims 3 rabbit hole. You're telling me I need to install a mod to break up Caroline from her marriage. I can do that in The Sims, and that's just the base game. But yeah, for the premise of today's video, I wanted to swipe left or right on the marriage candidates of Stardew Valley. This will be based on first impressions and the very little knowledge I have of them, as I haven't been playing Stardew Valley for that long. I'm still in the spring, I'm not even in the summer yet. But I wanted to make this video first before I got to know them, as I thought it would be fun to look back and see how off my first impressions were, and if my opinions on any of them changed, so please keep in mind I'm swiping before I actually get to know them, so of course I'm not going to be accurate. Are you listening? Please delete that paragraph you're typing that's telling me how wrong I am about a marriage candidate. I know I'm going to get people wrong, I know I am. And before I forget, what's up Sarah Buds? How are you? I hope you're doing well. If you also play Stardew Valley, let me know which of the marriage candidates is your favorite. First up, we have Alex, and not gonna lie, he's kinda giving me peaked in high school vibes, cause why does it look like you're still wearing your school sports jacket? I feel like he was that guy in PE class who took it way too seriously. Do you know what I'm talking about? There was always that one guy in my PE class that was treating it like it was the Olympics. They're like the sporty equivalent of that student who reminds the teacher, you forgot to collect our homework. But instead, this guy's like, teacher, she's walking during the mile, which by the way, a lot of people made fun of those girls who would walk the entire mile, and I was low-key always envious of them. Cause let's be real, a ton of us would walk the entire mile if our grade didn't depend on it. Anyways, I don't think Alex and I would get along if we went to the same high school. But I could see us getting along after. I'd probably see him again and be like, oh, you're not so bad after all. You're actually more chill than expected and maybe a bit of a dork. And I think he may have a sweet side because his grandma is Evelyn and she's one of my favorite residents. That and maybe peaking since high school has humbled him. The verdict? I'll swipe right. I think he's one of those people that when you give him a chance, he's actually nicer than you thought. Either that or he was a jerk in the past but has matured since then. So I think he'll swipe right on me. Maybe. I think it's possible. Next up we have Elliot, and I want to like him, but I've had a rough start with him. This has nothing to do with his personality but with his job requests. If you're new to Stardew Valley, I highly suggest to befriend Elliot early game because he won't leave his house on rainy days at all. You can't even knock on the door and deliver his request like your Uber Eats, and it makes me hate him sometimes. But looking past that detail, Elliot gives a standoffish vibe, and I think it's because of his portrait. I think Concerned 8 did him dirty for choosing this angle because it feels like he's constantly side-eyeing me. So sometimes when I read his text and look at his face, he comes off a little haughty or arrogant. He got a resting arrogant face. If you think an RBF is bad, I think this is worse. But I think him and I could have the most hobbies in common because I like to read. I'm a huge bookworm, and Elliot... Oh wait. He's kind of like Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I feel bad cause I don't know what's the Beast's name. I know the girl is named Belle. Is it Adam? I don't know. But now that Elliot has given me that image, I wonder how his room looks. I bet his room is nice. I think he likes to keep things tidy and loves to collect antiques. I could see him and Gunther being best friends. I just realized I sounded like a gold digger. The way my opinion of him improved because I think he's loaded like the Beast. Listen, being a farmer isn't easy. It doesn't hurt to have options, a backup plan. The verdict? I'm gonna swipe right. I do think Elliot and I could get along. I think him and I have a couple of hobbies in common, and a little money doesn't hurt. So I think he'll swipe right on me. Maybe, I'm not sure. Next up we have Harvey, and a lot of times when I played games like this, I would date the doctor, get those medical benefits, and I think this is the first time I'm gonna say this. But I don't want to date the doctor, he kinda scares me. Cause whenever I chat with him, he often says that he's struggling to make ends meet, and so he's gonna try to get patients from the neighboring towns. How do I know he's not gonna try to make a potential patient out of me? I'm a farmer, I go out fighting slimes in the mine. I'm a prime target. I might be the perfect target actually. Have you watched Investigation Discovery? Have you watched Who the Bleep Did I Marry? I think that's what's gonna happen if I end up with Harvey. I respect the honesty though. At least he's being upfront with me that he's struggling to make ends meet, so we both gotta hustle in our jobs. All jokes aside, I don't really know what Harvey and I would have in common, where our spark would come from. I feel like he's a sensitive guy and that's not a bad thing. But I like to banter and I could already picture him not liking it, which is not what I want for my farmer in her relationship. If I can already picture an argument, that's already a sign. So for the verdict, I'm gonna swipe left. I think we saw this coming, but I also think he would swipe left on me too, because what exactly do we have in common? Next up is Sam, and a lot of my friends who love Dragon Ball have said his hair reminds them of the Super Saiyan, and now I can't unsee it. But I like anime, and I think he does too. I could see Sam and my farmer geeking out over films, music, and more. He gives off golden retriever vibes, and whether as a friend or more, he would be there to morally support you. Basically, he gives off the childhood friend to lover trope, and because of that, I feel like he doesn't have the best communication skills. Because you know how in a lot of childhood friends to lovers, they tend to do a miscommunication trope? Which, by the way, a lot of people hate on that trope, but I think it's the most realistic. You think when you're young, people's communication skills would get better as they get older, but there's a ton of adults I've met that clearly don't know how to effectively communicate their feelings. And I think Sam might be one of those adults. Plus, I don't think he's been in a relationship before, or if he has, it's only been something casual. I do like his carefree vibes, but I think that's how him and my farmer could butt heads, but I don't think Sam does anything with malicious intent. If he hurts people's feelings, it's always unintentional, and he will immediately try to smooth it over once you explain it to him. If you don't explain it to him, then he probably would never know something was wrong. So with him, I think you'd have to be the type to initiate things first. The verdict? I'll swipe right. Just cause someone is bad at communication doesn't mean they can't improve on it. I think things might be one-sided in the start of the relationship, where my farmer may have to always be the one to engage, but later on Sam starts meeting her halfway and the relationship starts to feel more reciprocated, and I think he would maybe swipe right on me too. Maybe. Next we have Sebastian, and he definitely strikes me as the loner. When I said earlier that Elliot gives me a bit of a standoffish vibe, but in an arrogant way, Sebastian also gives me the standoffish vibe, except I feel like his comes from a place on preferring to be alone and being socially awkward. I don't think he likes crowded places, and he won't go to a party unless a trusted friend goes with him. I also feel like Sebastian is very blunt, and sometimes it gets taken the wrong way. Honesty is great, but there's a fine line between being honest and coming off rude. And so if you're not close friends with Sebastian, you might take it the wrong way. So I think initially I would not get along with Sebastian because I am a sensitive person. I like to banter with friends, but that's after we've established a close friendship, and I know it's coming from a place of love. I'm not sure what Sebastian's hobbies are. I want to say video games, but I think that suits Sam more. And so I'm kinda unsure what exactly would Sebastian and my farmer have in common, what our shared interests would be. I think Sebastian loves animals. He likes animals more than people. I can see that. Low-key, I think he is more of a cat person than a dog. I wouldn't be surprised if he owned a cat. But other than animals, I'm not sure what we would talk about. My mind is drawing blanks on what would he like about me. My farmer, he definitely has a sarcastic sense of humor, but other than that, I just don't think Sebastian would fall for my farmer, and I know it's me swiping left or right on him. But I would like my farmer to be with someone who likes her back. I can see them potentially being friends, but for now, I don't know about dating. The verdict? I'm gonna have to swipe left, cause I don't know what would the spark be between us. I'd have to get to know him more, and I think he would swipe left as well, cause he doesn't see it either. Next is Shane, and for whatever reason, my mind thinks he'd be a side character for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He definitely has a sarcastic sense of humor, but will tell it to you like it is. Unlike Sebastian, I don't think Shane feels bad if he accidentally hurts your feelings. If you didn't like what he said, he doesn't care. But because of that, he's the one friend out of the group that you can trust for an honest opinion. He will give it to you. Despite his blunt attitude, I think Shane bottles his feelings up a lot. When he's actually upset or frustrated with something, he doesn't feel comfortable talking to someone about it, so he just lets it fester. And maybe that's why he makes snarky comments now and then, which isn't healthy as he's directing his anger on little things versus the actual problem. I also think he's a night owl and hates mornings, but sadly he works the morning shift at work because someone keeps asking him to cover his shift, and while Shane complains, he does it anyways. As a result, he's actually the star employee at his job, and I think Shane is actually an ambitious person, but he gets overwhelmed easily, so it makes it difficult for him to start anything. I also feel like he has 3 dogs. 3 big dogs. He loves animals, but is definitely a dog person above all. But other than that, I'm not sure what his hobbies are. I think he used to fish, and when he was younger was into golfing. My guess is he's going through a tough time in his life just because his sprite comes off more disheveled than the rest, but he has kind eyes. The verdict? I'm gonna swipe left cause I don't know what Shane would like about me. It's the same as Sebastian. I don't think he's the worst, but what would he like about me? And I don't know if Shane is in a good place to be dating. Sometimes you need to work on yourself first. A relationship isn't going to make your problems disappear. And I think Shane wouldn't swipe on anyone at all. He would delete the Stardew Valley dating app after an hour. Shane would be like, I need to snap out of it. What was I thinking? Next is Abigail, and as cool as she looks, her mom was the one who caught my eye. Can you imagine swiping right on someone and their first message is asking about your mom? So I don't know if we're off to the best start for first impressions. Mostly from my end, I think I'm the problem here. I think Abigail would swipe left on me. I do like her outfit, and I think she's the adventurous type. I think she has a list of places she wants to travel and is working a part-time job at her father's store to save money for her first trip. I also like to travel, and my farmer was from the city, so I could imagine every once in a while my farmer takes Abigail out to the city. You know, show her some of the best places to eat, go to an arcade or something. Abigail gives me gamer vibes, and one of her biggest pet peeves is when she says she likes a certain band or game and someone asks her to prove it. She hates those obnoxious questions. I think she listens to a lot of small artists, and so with her, we'll never run out of new songs to listen to. Honestly, if there was a radio station in Stardew Valley, Abigail would be the main host. I think she has a bubbly personality, and people are easily drawn to her. The only con is, I think she's a girl who believes in astrology a little too much, which is a huge pet peeve of mine. Abigail will ask your sign, and if you say Gemini, she'd be like, I'm supposed to avoid Geminis. This has happened to me, by the way. I'm not a Gemini, but I've met a couple of women who are super into astrology, and when I told them my sign, they immediately told me we can't hang out, that we're not going to get along. But to be honest, I think telling people you immediately aren't going to get along is what's going to make someone not want to get along with you. I don't think it has anything to do with your sign, and the more I look at Abigail, the more she's reminding me of those girls. The verdict? I'm gonna swipe right, and Abigail's gonna swipe left on me. I think I like Abigail more than she would like me, and I'm okay with that. After Abigail, we have Emily, and to be honest, something feels off about her hair. I don't know, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I think it's in that awkward phase of it's still growing out. She definitely looks older with short hair, and then with long hair, much younger. Long hair I think would complement her soft features more. I do love her smile though. That's one of the things I'll notice in a person is their smile. What type of smile they have. And Emily definitely has a cute smile. She has a cute face. It's just the hair. I think I would have liked her much more with long hair, or to make her hair even shorter. If you're gonna go with short hair, commit to it. So I'm gonna stick with the story that Emily is planning to grow out her hair. That's why it's in this awkward phase. She gives off the mom of the friend group. If you want to hang out, she'll plan it, and if anyone is feeling left out, she makes sure you feel included. She's definitely someone who would be in your corner at a party. The friend you'd want to have to watch your back. So like I said with Sam, I can definitely see Emily as this childhood friends to lovers trope, but instead, I'm the problem. Damn, I'm just realizing so far with the bachelorettes, my farmer is the problem. But yeah, I think I can see myself saying something wrong unintentionally and Emily calls me out for it. She will take the initiative to communicate when something is wrong, and I like that. She's also more of a listener than a yapper, which is great because I ramble a lot. But other than that, I'm not sure what we'd have in common. I feel like I'd have an unrequited crush on Emily. I would be infatuated with her friendly personality and how kind she is to everyone. But when it comes down to it, I don't really know her. It's like having a crush on the most popular girl in school. The verdict? I'm gonna swipe right on Emily, but she would definitely swipe left on me. She's out of my lead. After Emily, we have her sister Haley, and I think Haley is definitely the yapper rather than the listener. Emily is a great listener because she always listens to her sister, but Haley is not an immediate yapper. She has that quiet, popular girl appearance. She's not shy, but if you're not a close friend of hers, then she can come off a little distant. But once you are, you see a more carefree and silly side of her. I think she's into fashion and has an on and off friendship with Abigail. I'll get more into depth on that later for another video, but besides her on and off friendship with Abigail, she doesn't have a lot of friends. She looks like she does, but she actually doesn't, while Emily is the one with a lot of friends, due to her bubbly nature. And the more I look at Haley, I could see an enemy to lovers romance with her. Because of her reserved nature, maybe she found something I said off-putting, or she said something that I took the wrong way, so we have a bad start, but then we later become friends and maybe something more? The verdict? I'm gonna swipe right. I don't know if Haley and I share a lot of things in common besides fashion, but I feel like Haley is someone who is down to try new things and will support your interests, even if she doesn't get it. So with her, I can see my farmer making a lot of fun memories together. And I think Haley would maybe swipe right on me. I'm not confident at all if I were to set up a dating profile for my farmer. Next is Leia, who is the one that my mod likes a lot. I kinda just want to swipe right without saying anything to make him mad. Leia has nice hair. I just realized we haven't seen many braids on The Bachelorette, so it's a nice change of pace and makes Leia stand out to me even more. Her top is giving me cottagecore vibes, and so I feel like she enjoys nature. She likes to go hiking and tends to her garden. I also think she likes to draw and listens to classical music to help her focus. I think Leia is a quiet person in general. She's on the introverted side and takes a while to open up, but even then, she's not very talkative. She prefers to observe and take things in, so she enjoys her life in Stardew Valley a lot. She loves the slow pace and away from all the hustling and bustling of the city. I think she's an independent person, and so sometimes it takes a while for her to open up to you about something, as she prefers to tackle everything herself. Out of the marriage candidates so far, I think Leia would have the smoothest transition to living with me on the farm. She would support the farm but also have time to dabble in her art, and it's made me realize I need to raise my standards, cause before I didn't even take into consideration would they help me with the farm. I should have. My farmer deserves the best. The verdict? I would swipe right on Leia. She's a walking green flag, and I think she would maybe swipe right on me too, cause I'll support her hobbies as long as she helps support me on the farm. Next up is Maru, and I kinda want her to have even shorter hair. I feel like her hair would look even better if it was cut shorter. I like her hair more than Emily's at least. I'm sorry, Emily. I think Maru and I would get along. She comes off as very ambitious and career driven, and I think that would inspire me to always push for my goals and to aim higher. However, because of this, I think Maru may sometimes have a fear of failure, and so when she does fail or something doesn't go her way, it hits her hard. I think she puts on this facade of being calm and collected at times, but deep down, she's very nervous of things not going according to plan. Maru is that one friend in the group where you have to remind them to just relax when you're hanging out, and it never works because telling someone to relax or stay calm rarely works. I don't think I've ever calmed down before because someone told me to calm down, but yeah. Maru is also very friendly. She doesn't have a lot of friends though because she's often busy with her tasks, with the goals she wants to achieve, and so she doesn't have a lot of time to chat. As a result, dating her means you'll need to respect that you're not always the first priority. Sometimes work has to come first, and it's nothing personally against you. The verdict? I'll swipe right on Maru. I like people who are very ambitious, who are driven. I don't like someone who has no goals in mind. I don't know if Maru and I have a lot in common, but I can definitely see us talking for hours about our dreams and what we want to do, and I think she would maybe swipe right on me too, as long as I respect her focus to the grind. Last but not least, we have Penny. I think Penny is also quiet, but it's because she's shy and so she's awkward. I'm also unsure if her hair is in a low bun or it's short hair that's styled that way, but it looks good. I like it. I think it's because her portrait is kinda to the side, so it's more flattering. I think they should have done the same with Emily and Maru then. It would have made their hair stand out better, but yeah. Penny is a bookworm and the studious type. She probably writes in cursive and still takes Cornell notes. I don't know if people still take Cornell notes today, but when I was young, we were taught Cornell notes because we were expected to take them in high school. And then in high school, we still didn't take them until senior year when my English teacher taught us Cornell notes because she said in college, they only accept Cornell notes. And then in college, nobody ever made me do it. So, I don't know what the new generation is learning today. Anyways, Penny loves riddles and good puns, but she hates being asked, "A penny for your thought?" Too many people use it on her and she's so over it. I think she's kind of nerdy too and likes Doctor Who and Grey's Anatomy. She also likes to listen to podcasts over music while doing her chores. The problem with her is that she's passive aggressive. At least I think she is, and I don't do well with passive aggressive people, so that would definitely be a big hurdle in our relationship, but she slowly gets better at communicating her frustrations over time. She also gets really embarrassed at being wrong, but my farmer finds it endearing, and Penny is a horrible liar, even with white lies. The verdict? I'm gonna swipe right on Penny. I'm gonna try to see it through, even though passive-aggressive vibes are one of the biggest ways to clash heads with me, but I think we can make it work with Penny swipe right on me. To be honest, I don't have the feeling she would. I think she would swipe left. I had fun though, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble about my silly headcanons based on first impressions. I highly doubt I got any of my assumptions correct, but I do look forward to playing more Stardew Valley and getting to know all the characters. I'm thinking of doing a run where I marry every marriage candidate and then do an updated video where I will swipe left or right again now that I've gotten to know them. I'm thinking of doing this for other games too, where I'll give my first impressions. For example, I have my eyes on Sunhaven and a couple of other games like it. They also have a set of romance candidates I could ramble on about. So if you'd like to see more content like this from me, let me know in the comments below. We can add it as a series on my channel, and until next time, this is Little Lemon Drop dropping out. See ya, bye bye, have a good day.